Ah. And welcome back to the round table here at the Round Table Talk on the Reality Realm Podcast Network. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Oliver, decked out in my pajamas for the snooze fest of a finale we just witnessed. Go ahead, guys.
My name is Bruce Heller. I'm decked out in a Missouri Tigers jacket because go Mizzou, go Tigers.
Boo.
And I'm Brett Parnell. I'm your third co-host, and I'm decked out in my Liverpool FC jersey, future champions of England.
He's really banking on this 99.98% or whatever.
I'm confused. His jersey's yellow.
Yes, I am.
I thought their colors were red and white. I didn't know they had yellow.
Bruce, you froze.
No,
You froze, Bruce. Oh,
I'm
well,
not
what did
froze.
you say?
What I was saying was I'm confused. Your jersey's yellow. I thought Liverpool was red and white.
That's the home jersey. This is the away jersey.
Yeah.
Is there even yellow in their logo?
No, it's the away jersey.
Yeah.
You wear this jersey when they're playing another team that's red. So like Arsenal or Manchester United.
I'm just used to away jerseys being white, I guess, because of American sports.
Well, this is an American sport.
White?
Yeah.
Britain is
NFL, NHL.
Well, Britain is not American sports, and neither is Canada.
Not yet.
Also, NFL does not work that way for everything.
Most teams wear white on the road, though. There's a few that don't. Dallas is weird, but
Dallas is always weird.
That's true.
Look at their owner.
Yeah.
But also, you guys call soccer a weird name, so
yeah, that's true.
But we're not here to make fun of each other's country sports.
Why not?
And British sports for some reason. None of us are British, but
we're here to talk about the Traitors.
Brett might as well be British.
Where there was one British player that I want to talk quite a bit about today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, people are not happy with that person's result, from what I can tell.
I'm extremely happy with this result. Americans are just jealous.
I have no problem with
it. I think. I don't think he's boring. He's the most boring British person that's been on the last 2 seasons. But
I mean, that's not that difficult. There's only 2 of them.
He's the most
John was fantastic.
Yeah, John's always been fantastic.
Mistress of Murder and all those little sayings and alliterations he does constantly.
He did that for 15 years in the Commons. That's nothing
what makes
new.
Me laugh, but I didn't realize that at first.
Just go on YouTube sometime and put John Brokaw House of Commons alliterations or quotes or whatnot, and you'll be laughing the whole time.
He's great.
Did you ever get into Chat BCC?
Yeah.
I'm on the RHAP Survivor and Traitors text chain for that, and Rob was talking about how bad or how he thinks that Andy Cohen's bad at being the host of the Traitors reunion, and so I put in the comments that John Burkow reunion season 4.
Yes.
I would love to see John Brokaw host something, but I'm not going to hop on board with throwing shade at my guy, Andy Cohen. I like him.
Andy Cohen's your guy?
He's from St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah. He's a big Cardinals fan, I think.
I did not know that.
He's also just so likable.
Yeah, I think that
I didn't think he did bad with the reunion.
I think that people want every reunion to look like a challenge reunion.
Yeah, and those are kind of exhausting, honestly.
Challenge reunions are fun to watch. I like a challenge reunion.
They're fun to watch.
Hey, Brett just like Brett just went and liked my comment on Chat BCC.
Nice. No, I like the challenge reunions, but if every show's reunion was like that, I would be exhausted. I can only take so much constant drama.
I mean, there's a lot less drama the second Amanda doesn't show up.
I do like The
24
challenge reunions
seconds.
stopped doing this, but like the older seasons reunions used to have the stuff they should have shown on them. And it was
Yeah.
like outtakes from them
That
just
was
being
great.
menaces around the house and stuff that didn't get shown on the season. And it was fantastic.
Yes. TT and I talked about that for after 40.
I don't know why they got rid of that, but they should bring it back.
Agreed. Either way, let's get into the Traitors, which, guess what? I actually watched it.
Wait, Brett, you've seen the Traitors? Wow.
And we finally get off of the cliffhanger and we get to a tie, breaking a tie vote. We've had a first round tie between Ivar, the British contestant, and between Danielle, the traitor. And it comes down to Danielle's rival from Rudolph Reindeer Games, Britney, to break the tie. Kevin, want to take it away?
Yeah, because I was right. And so was Bruce, and Brett was not. Yeah, so when the cliffhanger was getting ready to get left, the end of last time's episode kind of left us wondering what Brittany was gonna do, especially after seeing Dolores's reaction to Danielle, and then Dolores voting for Ivar, and so that kind of left a shocked look on Brittany's face, and we were left with two options: either Brittany was surprised that her vote was actually going to help save Danielle, or Brittany was upset with the fact that her vote could have helped save Danielle. And it was the latter, as Brittany once again votes or has something to do with Danielle's exit from the game. And
once
Danielle,
again.
yes, once again. This one was a little bit more straightforward, considering Danielle had the ability to save herself in a challenge on Rudolph's Reindeer Games. But here, it was just a straight vote.
Yep.
But we see Danielle very pissed as she leaves the round table at the beginning of this finale.
All I'm gonna say, I also felt really bad for Brittany because I could tell like she genuinely felt bad, and Danielle just did not believe it. It seemed like
because
Brittany gotta hurt.
Brittany thought she was voting with the numbers. It's like I know you guys don't watch Big Brother, but there's so many unanimous votes in Big Brother because everybody wants to vote with the house and not make waves.
The challenge is no different.
Yeah, exactly. Except when people decide to burn votes. But that only happens on the Traitors when Dolores votes. Anyway.
But I have a note I wrote about Dolores at some point.
Yeah. But anyway, Brittany thought she was just voting with the house. In the grand scheme of things, she could have literally saved Danielle, or potentially saved her, going to a basically flip of a coin is what I think it would have come down to, basically some 50-50 type thing if it would have went 2-2.
Yeah. And I will say this. I need both of them on Big Brother Lucky Shamrock Games when they do the St. Patrick version of Rudolph's Reindeer Games.
And I need you to be the host with your little leprechaun outfit.
If they buy a green suit for me, I will do it because I would look great in a green suit.
No, we need Kevin to be the host, and I'll make sure he has to wear the Notre Dame mascot.
Okay, I do want to take this moment to say I started watching a video of Kevin preaching. I need to finish it. But before he moves the mic stand at the beginning of his sermon, the mic stand is like 2 or 3 inches taller than he is.
I'm a short person. That's true.
But no, when they do Big Brother Lucky Shamrock Games, or whatever they call the St. Patrick's version of Rudolph Reindeer Games, I'm going with that because St. Patrick's Day is the next holiday coming up. I need these two on a third show together sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the challenge, but
No,
kind
don't
of
put
on
him
the
on
older
the
side for
challenge.
that.
Don't put him on the challenge. I'm trying to think. You could put him on something goofy like the goat on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
But Danielle's chaotic self in the challenge house.
Imagine Danielle's chaotic self in a place like the goat, which is like the non-villain version of House of Villains, to where it's like a parody,
Yeah.
a parody reality show
That would be funny.
where everything's like over the top ridiculous.
Yeah. I think that's just Big Brother Rudolph's reindeer games too.
But it doesn't have a comedian host.
Who was the host of it? Was it Julie What's her face?
Of what?
Big Brother
Rudolph's Reindeer Games?
Yeah.
They didn't really have a host. They had a few different Big Brother alum come in dressed as elves to announce the challenges.
Makes sense.
Derek X was an elf on one of the episodes.
Love him.
But they didn't have a host per se. Julie had nothing to do with it.
I will say, I don't watch the show. I don't have a ton of interest in watching it. I
Boo.
do appreciate that Big Brother just completely leans into their over-the-top cheesiness at every possible moment. Because
Yes,
I will
sir.
watch clips of that show will come up on my YouTube feed. I'm like, what the heck am I watching? And it's
Just because
and it'll just be a
Kevin mentioned
robot
her.
walking around roasting people or something. I'm like, this is
The
fantastic.
robot. Are you talking about Zingbot? Are you talking about Zingbot?
I think that's
I love
a thing.
Zingbot. And that's like a each season there's a Zingbot.
I love it. It literally is just a robot that roasts and insults people.
It's so funny.
Just because Kevin mentioned her, I should throw out that I actually met Julie at one point and didn't even know who she was.
Screw you.
I was a child.
How dare you?
This was in high school band trip.
So
she was doing an interview. I was in grade 9, but she was doing an interview right outside of CBS while we happened to be leaving Central Park, and people in our group recognized her.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned Derek X, get him and/or
I think the finale of some season of Big Brother was right before we were in New York.
Oh. Bruce, Claire won our Traitors season 2.
I always want the two of them on my screen. They're so great. They're good TV.
Yes.
Well, let's not worry about season 4 yet, because I figure we'll probably talk about season 4 in some off-season content, and actually each make a cast and talk about it for 1 week.
Well, hey, I already made my cast.
Okay, well then you're already a step ahead.
Here's a brilliant idea. Let's talk about this finale a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was just kind of getting at.
Okay. I mean, we did a little bit. We talked about Daniel Reyes getting banished.
This is like when I had to leave and I came back and we were still at breakfast.
Yeah.
He thought we would be at round table when we were at breakfast.
That was his first thing.
Yeah. Real quick, because I don't remember where I wrote it down in the episode, and I'm not driving this, so I'm not going through all my notes. At some point, Dolores goes, "Oh, I couldn't be a traitor. I would be the worst traitor ever." And my note was, "You were a really bad faithful also."
Yeah. They told us.
Hey, she wasn't a really bad faithful. She's in the finale.
No, but look at her voting record. Like, she didn't do anything. That's why people aren't happy she's a winner.
Yeah, but the purpose of getting to the show is getting all the way to the end and winning. It's the same in Survivor. It's the same in Amazing Race. It's the same in The Challenge. It's the same in Big Brother.
Okay, well, Philip got to the end of...
and didn't win.
Nobody's saying he's a good player.
I mean, if his goal was to come second, he was smart enough to attach himself to Rob and do whatever his master said.
Master.
But the truth of the matter is, I got to kind of side with Bruce here too. I can't hate on Dolores too much because she made the final, and I respect that. But if we're looking at a ranking of all the winners of this show, she's by far at the bottom of that list.
Oh, for sure.
Other than just her crazy voting,
I would rank her at the bottom of the winners of the whole franchise, but I would also rank her far higher than pretty much everybody else on this cast. except for 3 people.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I still wish we had seen a Tom Sandoval win just to see what the reaction would be. But
Yeah. But it wasn't to be for now.
I am going to stand my ground here before we move any further, since we did have to say goodbye to Danielle here, and say that she is easily not the worst traitor that we have seen, like a lot of people say.
Interesting. I would agree.
What?
I said I would agree with that. I don't think she was a great traitor, but I don't think she was bad either.
I don't think she was as... I think that she was better than... I think that she was better than most people give her credit for.
I think the worst traitor on this season was Bob by far.
Yeah, he was too pushy.
Yeah.
Ironically, I think if I were to say a best and worst traitor from the franchise, I think they would both come from season 1.
I would agree.
Well, I didn't watch season 1, so we'll talk about that in a few months.
But
in
Bruce,
a couple months.
We probably have different answers for the worst one, Kevin. But
that's what I was about to say. I think we have different answers for the worst.
But the best traitor in show history, like, I don't think there's
U.S.
Yeah.
Of U.S. traitors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, the only one I've seen and can comment on.
Yeah.
Like, there's only one answer for that, as Brett will soon learn.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of already know who she is.
Shh.
Well,
Jeff Probst talks about her all the time.
The fact that you just said she, and there's only one she traitor in season 1. So...
Yeah, you have to say spoiler alert for yourself, or else you'll find out what happens before you watch it.
I already know what happens because my family watched it while I was on a cruise ship.
Spoiler alert. I'll say
it was that, unlike the season 2 and 3, which dropped weekly here in Canada, it was already spoiled by the time it got on. You guys watched it weekly, and then season 1 just dropped all at once up here.
Was ours weekly? I watched it like a month after it came out, so I binged it in like 2 days. But
yeah,
I also did that because Bruce gave me his Peacock password just so that I could watch Traitors, and then I just use it all the time now.
I like when shows drop weekly because, like, Cobra Kai, they'll drop their whole seasons, or with season 6 parts of seasons, all at once.
Yeah.
And I go through it in like a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm sad because I have to wait until whenever more content comes.
Are you?
But the final part of the final season of Cobra Kai was a 5-episode chunk. I watched through all of them back to back, and now I never get to watch new content again. Because they drop it weird, and it's their fault.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and because Bruce does not have the self-control to make himself watch it in a 1 week or in a weekly time span.
If you do that, the internet will just spoil everything.
I also will put a little. I will eat a little bit of crow about the end of Roundtable, as we famously had a giant debate on the future of the Seer twist last week. And I will simply read the note I wrote down. Time for Alan to reveal the Seer. I was wrong. I don't like being wrong. I'm not used to this. And that is my comment on that. I was wrong. I don't like it. I'm not used to the feeling.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm not gonna wave anything in your face. I already did that.
Yeah, I texted him a screenshot when I wrote that note, and he
I thought it was
woohoo in all caps.
I thought it was fascinating though that Britney ended up getting the seal. I'm pretty sure Danielle got it and then went home.
There's no way she didn't.
But either way, it was like the top 2 were both traitors, so therefore it wasn't going to really completely overhaul the game as compared to if one faithful got it and then there was only one traitor left in the game.
Well, here's the thing is the way at least, well, depending on who the faithful was that got it, especially if it would have been somebody like Dylan or somebody who at least had a little bit of strategic acumen, I'm not going to even try to guess what the heck Lord Ivar Mountbatten would have done if he got the seer power.
Yeah.
But like Dylan, he just wanted to go for another person, confirm faithful, and just go all the way to the end with whoever he confirmed faithful.
Makes sense.
Here.
And I mean, in this
And I think
case,
that's-
we see what happens. But if you can play it that way, that's a perfect way to not only get to the end, but to make sure you get as much money as possible.
Right, and I think it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I heard some people talking about this online. Traitors expert Puya Zambakili was talking about how that is, and he's right, because the more I thought about it, that's the ultimate strategy, is to go for finding a faithful with the seer power. Because if you find a traitor, or if you don't, or if you're a traitor and find a faithful that you're gonna accuse as a traitor, they're just gonna do what Dylan wanted to do and just vote both of them out to be safe. Because somebody's been lying.
Yeah,
That's right.
And so picking faithful is the way to go with the seer power.
Yeah.
So is there anything, do we have any thoughts on her picking Gabby specifically over any of the other faithful she could have chosen?
I
thought this was an interesting decision that she made. It made sense to me, but I thought it was in a spot where, I mean, if you're Britney, you know you're the only traitor. But if you're anybody in the game, let's say, Gabby's probably the player that you're not quite sure where she is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, though, because Britney goes on to try to discredit Dylan later on at that last round.
Yeah.
So maybe her going for Dylan might have been able to plant some more seeds of doubt there. That might have been the move.
Yeah.
But also, at the time of play, I wasn't thinking that that what I just said was true. That finding faithful is the correct way to play seer.
Right. I just think that by her going with Gabby, she's at least sending a message to the other players of, I don't know if Gabby's a faithful or a traitor, as opposed to we're working together and gonna try to go far.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas because keep in mind that even though Britney we know is a traitor, the other players don't know that for sure.
Right.
I do love Dylan's response to this was like at breakfast the next day, planning ahead of like, well, Brittany's probably going to say Gabby's a traitor. And if that happens, we need to do this and this and this to figure out which one of them's lying.
Yeah.
And then
that
Brittany, like, in my opinion, smartly, didn't work out for her, but I think it was a smart move. Tell us the truth. Gabby's a faithful. Dylan seemed completely unprepared for that result to happen. So
yeah,
I do think Brittany gets voted. I think that was the right move. It's just pretend you're a faithful at that point. Reveal another faithful. She had Gabby hooked.
Yeah,
I just think that I think that Brittany used the seer power correctly. I think Brittany's biggest problem was how she went about the round table. I think the odds were stacked against her away. Very much
so. She could have tried to throw Gabby under the bus and frame Gabby. I think just pretending to be faithful and strengthening allies was a good choice. She was just too sunk at that point. Dylan was not going to let up on her no matter what.
Right.
And Dylan had Ivar's ear, and Dolores just votes however Dolores votes.
Yeah, one of her two correct votes all season long.
I wonder who would have voted if Tom wouldn't have been there. Because like half of her votes it's between person A and person B, and then Dolores votes for Tom.
Yeah.
And then Tom votes for Dolores.
Yeah.
Imagine Tom with the seer.
Now though, we have finished roundtable. We got to talk about this last mission.
Yeah. Also,
that was fun.
Alan was wearing a sparkly suit, and it was straight fire.
Yes.
Now we can get to the mission. I just hadn't done my breakfast fashion update.
I had a Alan fashion update, but the Alan fashion update I have comes from the Fire of Truth.
Oh, that was a good one.
I'll bring it up when we get there.
We are rebranding as a fashion podcast this offseason, guys.
And this is where I put in my resignation.
No, not allowed. I reject your letter of resignation. I do not accept. You're our model.
Okay, send me free clothes. I'll wear them.
I'm sending you the Notre Dame mascot costume.
I dare you.
I will be searching Amazon after this.
And he will be giving up because it's going to cost way too much money.
Oh, yeah. I just want to see what's on there. But the mission was fun.
Yes, let's talk about the mission.
You can just send Bruce a Kansas Jayhawks one at the same time.
Yeah, I need something for a bonfire.
We could just have a really big bonfire and burn them together, Bruce. We live close enough together.
Fair enough.
Okay, mission.
Mission.
Brett, what do you want to talk about the mission?
What do I want to talk about the mission? Let me just quickly look what I had.
Well, he looks that up, basically.
Because, I mean, that Ring of Fire mission part just took all my memory.
Yeah, there were cars in the first part.
Oh, that part. Yeah, that was great. So the players have to be able to follow clues and directions to get themselves to a old Scottish building where there is both money and 5 British classic cars, one for each player that they could drive back. And if they did it in, what was it, 30 minutes? I think.
Something like that.
They would win their money and then also have them driving 1950s Scottish cars through the Highlands and make some great TV.
And shocker, it came down to the last
5 seconds. I know.
Man.
Yeah.
The Challenge All-Stars is doing the same thing lately, and I'm like, we've seen this movie before.
The first part of this challenge was fun. The second part was just wild.
Yeah.
I like the helicopters.
And so what Alan does is he tells them, there's a helicopter, you'll be flying over the Ring of Truth, throw your money bag in Ring of Fire. And if it lands in the Ring of Fire, you double its value. And right as they're about to start, he goes, oh, by the way, you're not riding in the helicopter, you're dangling below it.
Yeah.
And
by the
poor
way,
Ivar had to go
really
up by
fun.
himself.
That, like, riding around dangling below a helicopter like that looks so much fun, and I
know. So do I.
I would love to.
I mean, this castle is available to be visited by the public and rented out. You know that's going to become an in-demand tourist attraction now.
We should rent it out for a night and record roundtable talks from the Traitors Castle.
That would be hilarious.
And we'll just charge it to Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Brett, you have a fund ready for a house. We can just use that.
No.
You travel all the time. Just use one of your vacation budgets.
Or like 7 of them.
I think it would be gone in like 5 minutes when it comes to renting that place that people use for a wedding. I have a travel budget because I don't want to save for a wedding budget.
Yeah, you're saving for a Traitors Castle budget that we just convinced you to start saving for.
Just like combine like 7 cruises, the money from 7 cruises that you don't go on, and then we'll go to the Highlands. And
Traitors Castle would be a cool place to get married, though.
Yeah.
I mean, not my choice, because the place where Anakin and Padme get married in Star Wars Attack of the Clones at the end is like an actual place they have weddings at, and that's my top choice.
Nerd.
I don't care. That would be so cool. It's in Italy, though, so I have to travel really far away to get there.
I mean, we're talking about the Highlands, so not quite as far as Italy, but it's still...
Yeah, pretty close.
It's still quite the travel.
The best wedding venue I've seen is actually not too far away from you guys. It's in Tennessee.
Huh. The
You
Dolly
can get
Parton's house?
you can get married in the castle where Taylor Swift filmed the Love Story music video
Oh, that's kind of cool.
outside of Nashville.
Huh.
But yeah, dangling below a helicopter. I want to do that sometime.
That would be so much fun.
And Ivar got to do it all by himself. He was.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think that was smart. It's an advantage to do it by yourself. You don't have somebody else either moving around or screaming or talking to you. You can just focus on the mission at hand.
And he still missed one of them.
Yeah.
That is not my problem.
That isn't. You were about to say that's not his fault. Then you
And
realized
it was completely his problem and his fault.
That
I
is
also
not
said
being
Brett's
my
never
problem.
watched Traitors.
I was just gonna say that. I also said I don't watch the show while podcasting about it once. So
Kevin, clip this as one of our reels. Just
Okay.
starting it. That is not my problem.
Okay.
But yeah. Also, Gabby was fun. This whole
Gabby,
season, like, one of my takeaways is that Gabby is absolutely hilarious. But with her and Dylan on the helicopter, she's talking about how supportive he was and that she's happy he was her partner, and then ends this confessional with, "But don't tell anyone I said that."
Fun fact real quick about not necessarily about Gabby, but ABC just announced today that The Bachelorette is going on hiatus.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That surprises me. I thought that franchise was doing really well.
Well, The Bachelor is currently airing.
Oh. They canceled The Bachelorette and didn't cancel the Old People Bachelor?
They didn't cancel it. It's on hiatus.
That means it's not coming back for a while, maybe ever.
For a while.
But
That's
when
not it.
when the while is not a like set amount of time, there's a good chance it's ever. But either way, they put Bachelorette on the shelf before they put Old People Bachelor on the shelf.
Because Old People Bachelor is better.
I know. I would have guessed Bachelorette gets way more viewers. Is my guess.
I have no idea. I don't know. I only watch Old People Bachelor.
I don't watch any of them. But where were we? Oh, yeah, helicopter. That was fun.
yeah, that was fun.
I enjoyed that. I'd love to do that, like you guys said.
Players just throwing money at this burning ring and seeing if they can hit it from way up. I mean, they all did well. That's got to be a challenge.
Yeah.
At least I would think.
Even the ones that missed, it was like right outside the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hoping if one of them missed, they would land on the fire and like set the bag ablaze.
What are you
doing? That would have
doing?
been funny.
With this arm, I was holding a dog toy because my dog was wanting to play tug of war and not moving my arm at all. That's how hard she was pulling. It said it like made me bounce like that.
I was so confused. Thought that was a new dance or something.
She'd been tugging for a while and then just decided to start tugging a lot stronger there. So, what's next?
After the challenge.
So the players finished the challenge. Some of them double their money. Some fail, but those who failed just barely failed. So nothing that was either just... It wasn't that... It clearly couldn't be as difficult as it looked. And then we go into the final roundtable.
We do. And it's Dylan versus Britney, and it goes hard.
It does, and then results in a very anticlimactic.
But it doesn't mean it was close at all. Yeah.
The editors did a really good job at
I think at this point, everybody has a good idea. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, I was just saying that the editors did a really good job of making us think that there was something that's going to happen. It's kind of like how Survivor 47's finale, we thought Sam was going to get more than one vote based on his final tribal performance, and that he only got one vote.
Yeah.
Even Rachel thought she had lost it at final tribal briefly.
Yeah.
I will say, I just realized this.
New finalist.
At every turn in this episode where you could have made a prediction, the most predictable outcome happened.
I don't know that I would call it the most predictable because I never would have. Oh, maybe my third or whatever, but I probably would have predicted that all four of the faithful would.
I never said it, or I never it didn't cross my mind. But after we finished recording last week, I kind of had this thought of, well, there's no way Ivar is going to get banished.
Yeah,
I started to kind of realize there's a good chance he would win. Dolores, she just is what she is.
The only thing is, if we go back to season 2, we did banish players that we knew were faithfuls just in order to rack up more money. But I mean, hey, challengers love money more than anybody else on any cast.
Yeah.
That's because they can play 84 seasons and still have less career earnings than one-time Survivor winners.
That's true. Unless you're a Survivor winner who goes on to the challenge.
That's true.
Unless you're
the second richest female in the history of the challenge.
More money than any of them, or more money than any of them.
Well, the second richest female in the history of the challenge, if you combine all reality show winnings, is Michelle Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I believe it.
Only Ashley Mitchell's won more money, and that's because she took a whole $1 million in one season of the challenge.
Which is very rare.
That never happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than when your partner is a complete moron.
I don't think it was $1 million, but the whole taking money from your partner has happened. Ashley wasn't the first one to do that.
Nope.
Wasn't it just $250,000 that time though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still very just as dramatic of a television moment though.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more so because that was the first time it had happened.
Yep.
But yeah, but this finale, I'm just not really. It was the predictable outcomes happened. Danielle went first. Britney went next.
Yeah.
There really wasn't any big shocks or twists or turns.
I think until we see what color the fire goes, it's the episode was basically as scripted in a complete order.
And by the time we got to that point in the episode, that's what I was expecting at the Fire of Truth, too.
See, I was not.
Well, I just thought somebody would get a little greedy.
So that's where I kind of want to go next before we get to the Fire of Truth, is we see all the players talking about one-on-one with Alan about what their thoughts are going into the Fire of Truth. And Dolores says, I think there's another traitor here. I don't trust everybody. And I thought for sure that Dolores was going to say she wants to vote again. I think it was smart of her not to, especially seeing she was the last vote, because if Dolores wanted to vote again and all 3 other people all said they didn't want to vote again, Dolores would be the easy vote. But they don't know that when they select which bag they decide to throw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That shout out to the producers and the editors. They really made it interesting. They made us think that Dolores had chosen to vote again.
Yeah.
As interesting, they made it as interesting as this final could be.
Yeah.
By this, I obviously didn't sit here on last week's episode and predict these 4 specific winners, but by the time we got to the Fire of Truth, I'm like, they're all going to agree to end it. Nobody's going to want to vote again, was what I was saying going into that. So,
interesting. See, I thought Dolores was 100% going to based on that interview, but got it wrong. before we get into the Fire of Truth specifically, because I mentioned it earlier, final Alan fashion update of the season, I literally had in my notes, is Alan doing the Fire of Truth, or is Alan dressed in his bejeweled set for this Taylor Swift Eras tour? Because this is what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then we get to the fire, and I think we all kind of spoiled it. The editors did a great job at making us think it would at least go one more round, and it
Surprise,
didn't. They
it
all
didn't.
win. So now that we get to there, I got to throw something out that I know we've talked about Dolores's voting record. I'm sure you guys have seen this online, but who knows? For the audience, I think it's the biggest part of the finale. Lord Ivar is the only person to vote out all 4 traitors, or all 5 traitors.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is deserving of a win, whether you think he's entertaining or not.
Yeah.
I'm not upset. I think Lord Ivar is the most entertaining piece of furniture I've ever seen.
I saw like on Instagram from the reunion, they did that trend of like, I'm passing the phone to this person, and they like describe the I think it was Bob the Dragon goes, I'm passing the phone to someone who drank a lot of tea all day. A lot. Or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I know who that's going to be. And 90% of his scenes were just him drinking tea around the house.
That's funny.
Really playing into the British people loving tea thing.
It's true.
It's true. It's just funny that, like, he really showed that.
My friend Spencer, that you guys have heard about, he ordered a box of tea from the same supplier that supplies tea to King Charles.
Nice. Not King Ivar. Lord Ivar. Lord Ivar.
No, the king is Lord Ivar's second cousin, Bruce.
Okay, so yeah, King Ivar. That's basically the same person.
No.
But I am entrenched in Lord Ivar's distant, no longer royal relative, Harry, should be on the Traitors.
This again? We already had this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm standing by it. It would
and Kevin and I are not entertaining it.
No.
Okay, I take that back. Maybe he wouldn't be entertaining. Get his wife on there.
I'd be okay with Meghan Markle on there.
It would bring viewers.
As long as it's for the US version and not the UK one, fine.
Oh, have her film both of them back to back. She would get eaten alive in the UK version, but
the UK version doesn't have celebrities usually. They're just normal people.
British people also just don't like her because she's an American that married into the royal family, from what I can tell.
And because she kidnapped Harry.
Yeah.
Either way.
This is not a politics podcast, so we'll
Bruce,
stop you.
Come on, man.
I didn't know the royal family was considered politics. I thought they were figurative and ceremonial at this point.
I could get into more details, but I'm not going to.
This is not the civics podcast. Okay.
We did have a long, government class conversation. Again,
they literally brought me into the call and they were talking about the freaking prime minister election in Canada. I didn't get to talk for 5 minutes.
This is my fault. I didn't. The line I've always heard is that the royal family is pretty much figureheads at this point. I didn't realize
you are correct.
About politics.
You are correct.
I didn't turn this into a politics podcast.
Yes, you did.
I'll
explain why after.
Okay. I maintain get her on the American Traitors. It'll bring viewers. It'll be entertaining.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
Make her a traitor.
That fact.
No, you know what? Never mind. Just because you said fact, I'm going to be stubborn and walk it back. Never mind. Make her a faithful. I'm ridiculous, but here I am. Do we have anything else? We did the Fire of Truth. We talked about By the way, both of my winner predictions won. I was right.
You were.
Both of my winner predictions won too.
I was right.
Neither of my winner prediction won. Well,
Bruce,
my last winner prediction did win.
I said Dylan and Ivar.
I said
Yep.
Dylan and Gabby.
I know.
I said
but
Gabby on her own. So
I believe.
Gabby on her own. That doesn't make sense.
I know, but I only picked one person in last week's show.
I believe what I said was Dylan and Gabby and Ivar and Dolores.
No, you did not.
No.
I did say Dylan and Gabby. I said that for like half the season though. So
That's true. And I said Dylan and Ivar because I thought that if anybody, if any two faithful were going to the end together, it would be them because Dylan's been sus on Gabby forever, and I didn't want Dolores to win.
this like Dylan and Gabby like frenemies don't trust each other but still have so many scenes together where they seem like they get along was such a fun dynamic.
Yeah. Okay.
So do we have reunion thoughts or anything? I really don't. I'm just curious if you guys do.
You don't have reunion thoughts?
I do think it's funny. Bob the drag queen insulted Zac Efron, and then they asked him at the reunion, and he had not seen Zac Efron's work. So
yeah, that was
he's
funny.
just throwing shade to throw shade, and I think that's funny.
Bob the drag queen's outfit was absolutely wild.
It looked like it had blood dripping on it.
That was the point. Yeah.
What was that? It was so
It was supposed to look like blood.
Carolyn's reunion fit looked great.
Yeah.
I loved Bob Harper's.
Yes.
I don't know what to think of Bob Harper's.
I loved how much attention Boston Rob got from Andy Cohen, even though he was out like, what, sixth?
That's just Rob.
I know.
Oh,
but that's what I mean. Rob got like half the time of reunion that he didn't make it anywhere close to the end of.
I want to tell you guys a fun fact real quick. So, somebody made a list for Survivor players, Housewives, and Big Brother players separately that have played on all 3 seasons and put what places they've done. I added up all those, divided by the number of players to see what the average number, like who does the best on average. And although they're the only one without a winner, Big Brother has the best average finishing position out of Survivor, Big Brother, and Housewives.
Huh.
It's not by much. It's about 0.7 of a place.
What about people from the show Vanderpump Rules?
Well, people from the show Vanderpump Rules have a better average than everybody. So
because there's only been one of them, I think.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of him on that show, though, and I think some of the other people on that show would be interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
it just seems like a bunch of drama, but we need some of that in the castle.
So I actually, I put 2 Vanderpump Rules people on my.
I know there's one of them on my false fan cast.
I have 2.
So his ex-girlfriend that he cheated on the show. Then have Tom play the Kate role and enter mid-season.
Oh boy!
Now Meghan Markle's in the castle. I'm just stirring up chaos at this point.
But yeah, so Big Brother, it was fairly close between Big Brother and Survivor. Big Brother averaged a placement of 10th. Survivor averaged a place of about 10.78, and then Housewives averaged a place of about 12th.
Okay, I was too chaotic. Maybe don't get both of the people from the broken relationship in the house at the same time.
Yeah, why do you hate?
I'm walking that back a little bit, but
the challenge has done that many times over, and it worked out amazing.
But we're not the challenge.
With that team.
We're not the challenge.
The challenge should do another Battle of the Exes, though.
Yes, they should.
But
the only thing is with that, and I was talking to TT about this recently, they can do another Battle of the Exes, but do not put Jordan and Tori as partners if we want any sort of competitive season.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like, okay, this show ends.
We need to run it back with Tori Deal and Danny McRae being partners again. That went really well the first time.
That was great.
But then we can't call it Battle of the Exes.
No.
No, but I was World Championships. I was rooting for those two as soon as that got formed, and they were the
Same.
most dysfunctional pair on that
They were
season.
one of the most dysfunctional pairs of recent memory.
Couldn't agree on anything. So let's run it back and just assume it'll go better the second time.
You know what they say about people that are like that?
What?
Psychotic.
I think I'm adorable. I'm a delight personally.
Is that what your other voice in your head told you?
That's what I told myself. I'm a delight.
Okay, well that answers my question. If nobody has
confidence for the win.
Does anybody have any other thoughts from the reunion?
No, but this was a great first season of Roundtable Talk. We'll probably be taking a little time off, but then coming back in the summer. We're going to do 3 weeks of fan casting. We're going to watch season 1. Well, I'll watch it for the first time. You guys can rewatch it.
Yeah.
And get some, probably take like 10 weeks and just do that one episode after the next. And then we'll, by next winter, get into season 4. Assuming that's when they decide to do it. Peacock might be like, hey, let's film season 4 in the summer and drop it before Christmas. That would be amazing.
I want to hear from Christmas gift to us.
I want to hear from you guys. Who are your favorite faithfuls and who are your favorite traitors?
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. Great point. I am gonna say my favorite traitor was Carolyn. I think the best traitor, however, was Boston Rob. Carolyn sank her own game. Rob's reputation sank his game. That was just bound to happen. So, as far as faithfuls go, my favorite faithfuls, So, I mean, sorry to all the Bravo people. Tom probably as far as guys go, and Gabby for females.
Okay. What about you?
I'm going to make the caveat that like our audience has noticed this. Rob has been my favorite on pretty much anything he's been on. So I'm going to exclude him from this so I can give more people some love.
Okay.
I will say, brief reunion thought, the Rob moment where Andy Cohen was like, so Rob, can you explain to us why you disagree with the people that say you started the trend of traitors going after each other? And Rob's just like, no, I absolutely started that. It was hysterical.
Yeah.
I did love Carolyn. My favorite non-Rob traitor is probably Britney. She just became a traitor at the end, but it technically counts. And she was one of my favorites all season. I told you guys that a lot of episodes. Most of those episodes I'm basing this on, she was a faithful, but she ends up as a traitor. So I'm going to use her in that category if it counts.
Yeah, it does.
And then you guys know my favorite male faithful. I've been on the like hype train loving Tom's goofiness and like puppy, like lost puppy energy the whole season. Sorry to the Bravo fans. Sorry to Brett's sister. And any of them that don't like him. I love Tom right now. And then I'll also go with Gabby. She's hilarious. She's fun. And she's funny on social media.
So for me, traitor-wise, I'm going with Carolyn. I think that she was my favorite traitor. I would debate. I'm not going to because I have previously. I feel like I would debate that she was the best. I would still hang my hat on her being the best traitor of the season.
I agree.
When it comes to faithful, I'm curious if you guys know who I have, or if Bruce knows.
What were you saying?
Who my favorite faithfuls are. I'm just curious if he knows.
Dolores.
Okay, Bruce doesn't know. Both of my I wore a suit coat for the funeral of one and the banishment of the other in the same
Wes and
episode.
Bob.
Wes Bergman and Bob Harper were my
Nice.
favorite faithfuls of the season.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
good
honest. I
picks.
forgot Wes was on the season. My
I
answer
kinda
is still
did too.
Tom, but I forgot about Wes.
I love Wes.
Yeah, I love him. I forgot about him. They didn't give him a ton of airtime. My answer is still Tom, even remembering Wes now.
Also, Bob Harper looked really weird at the finale or at the reunion with no beard and no white hair.
Yeah. Get Tom Sandoval on the challenge.
Ew. I don't think
No.
that'd go well.
I don't know. I just need him on my TV more.
Yeah, put him on House of Villains.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
He'd be great on there. I don't want to see him enough to watch the actual show he's on.
Well, Vanderpump Rules is like non-existent anymore anyway.
It
So
probably streams somewhere though.
yeah, you probably could.
But I don't want to. It looks not my cup of tea. But I love Goofy Tom. He's fantastic. I just want him on every season of the Traitors now. That's what I really want.
Like New York on House of Villains.
You can have Tom on every season of the Traitors and have him as a faithful every season, and I don't think he would catch a traitor. He'd have 1,000 theories, but I don't know if any of them would be right.
I mean, the biggest problem is
Boston Rob.
I was gonna say isn't necessarily Tom; it's people being willing to listen to Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
especially if they're Bravo people that are in the game.
Britney was one of my favorites reacting to Tom's goofiness, though. Just her voice rolled its eyes in her confessionals about him half the time.
Yeah, for sure. But he was one of the proponents for Boston Rob to go home. So
true. And he played the trumpet in the dollhouse that they didn't show on television, but I've heard he did that.
So for the record, not only do the people in the castle not listening to Tom, neither does Bruce, because he tried to tell us that Tom never had a good right theory.
Well, no, but they made that a storyline of like Britney said Tom is on theory 73 and it's only 9 a.m.
Yeah, I know.
They made that a whole storyline, so that's what I was going up. And I've kind of been attributing Rob to Wes in my head more than anyone.
Well, yeah, it wasn't one. I'm not saying Tom was the driving force, but he was. I mean, but in this game, it usually takes more than one person's opinion to make something happen.
Yep.
Makes sense. This was a fun season.
Yeah, this was.
Yes, sir.
Go.
Wrong show. All right. Yeah. Before we head out of here, check all the other Reality Realm Network shows. Tribal Council Chat, Pit Stop Pals. They are both in the full swing of things now with new seasons. We got a New Generation Challenge podcast recording when they can on their new season. And check out our merch store at Redbubble. All of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, the newly formed Reality Realm Podcast Network, TikTok, where you can see all of our content, as well as YouTube, where you can find any of these videos.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then remember, look out. I mean, I'm getting back from a cruise in June, so probably right after I come back, we'll start doing some off-season content. That way we don't have to disrupt it.
So Brett is taking 2 cruises in the next 3 months.
That's right. My friend is doing that I'm going with, and one is doing a lot more than that.
Right on, right on.
I live in Canada. The snow's finally melting. Now I'm going on a cruise to Alaska where it's freezing cold.
All right, Bruce.
Grab your torches and head back to camp and don't get murdered.